Okay, so it's a little after 7. There's a bunch of us on. There's about 16 participants on, so we have a lot of us. So we'll go ahead and get started. So welcome to our Thursdays at 7. I'm so happy that you're all here to join us. Tonight's call is sponsored by the Hemophilia Center at OHSU, so thank you very much to our friends at the Treatment Center. For those who don't know me, I'm Madonna McGuire-Smith, and I'm the Executive Director of the Hemophilia Foundation of Oregon. And tonight we have Big Dog Pat Torrey joining us. He's our host, so he's going to be our trainer for the evening. You're welcome to have your video on or off. Just know that when your video's on, that means you've given us implied consent to use your picture, and it'll be posted on our website. You're okay to leave it on or off. It doesn't matter to us either way. But just remember that it will be recorded and it will be on our website as of tomorrow morning, so you can come back and watch it again if you want. Notice that your name appears in the lower left-hand corner of your screen, and I would suggest you change it to either your first name only or a nickname, like I'm Magic Madonna because that's my camp name, but you're welcome to use a name that is a nickname, or as in my family's names, it's just the Smiths, which is perfect. Also, we ask that you mute yourself through the whole thing. Unless Pat asks you to answer a question, then you're welcome to unmute yourself and answer the question and participate. It might be a good idea if you want to put your screen in speaker mode. And the reason I suggest that is because then that way you can see Pat real big on your screen and you'll get all the good advice and suggestions that he's giving you. But you're welcome to leave it on gallery as well so that you can see everyone else and their reactions, whichever you prefer. But speaker mode lets you see Big Dog in a full screen view. If you have questions, I will keep mine on gallery view, and you can raise your hand if you have a question, and I can make sure that Pat knows that you have a question, or you can write it in the chat box. And you can find the chat box by locating it at the bottom of your screen, and then you just type in if you have something you want to ask. And occasionally, we're going to share our screens, either myself or Pat. So I'm going to share mine right now. And I'm going to show you our upcoming Tuesdays at 2. So next week on Tuesday at 2, the 19th of May, we're going to be making bread and chocolate chip cookies. So we're going to use those upper body muscles. We're not going to use any sort of mixer or yes, exactly, Pat. We're going to be stirring and mixing and kneading and doing all kinds of fun stuff on the 19th of May. The 26th, we're going to do outdoor games. And the 2nd of June, we're going to do a dance party. And we have more coming for the rest of June and July. So look for more information on that. Then our Thursdays at 7 lineup. Tonight we have Pat Torrey, sponsored by the HTC. Then on Saturday, we have a Spanish-speaking one. Then we have a gene therapy one next Thursday. And in 2 weeks, we'll have another virtual campfire. And notice that at the end of June, we have another virtual campfire. And then we have even more fun things planned for July. You can always get these. They're emailed out once a week with all the links for the upcoming week. So look for those. The other thing I want to share with you is, in case you are looking to get in touch with us, you can always find me at these locations. So feel free to take a picture of this or go back and watch the video again if you want. This is how you can reach us during the COVID and pretty much any time. So keep an example of that. And then the last thing I want to share is our senior tonight. We have one senior we're recognizing tonight, and some of you may know her as Tater Tot. So congratulations to Taylor Lang as part of the class of 2020. Notice in the upper left, she's being sorted into a color team, and the lower right is her reaction when she found out what team she landed on. So enjoy the pictures of Taylor, and congratulations. Good luck to you as you move forward in all your new choices in life. It's such an exciting time. We'd like to congratulate all of our seniors, and we're hopefully going to be putting them all up on a special week in June as well on our Facebook page. So look for more on that. I think at this point, that's all of the things I need for introduction. So I want to turn it over to our friend, Big Dog, Pat Torrey. He's the owner and I think he's the founder of Gut Monkey. And and we use him a lot for camp. So many of you know him. Oh, look at all the Smiths cheering him on. All right, take it away, Pat. Thanks so much.
Yeah, you got it. Hi, everybody. Pat Torrey. My camp name is Big Dog. Yeah, I started Gut Monkey about 15 years ago, but that was only after meeting people from the Hemophilia Foundation of Oregon and Camp Tapawingo 5 years before that, which kind of launched us into working with people in the bleeding disorder community. And then from there, starting Gut Monkey a few years later. So we have always loved working with folks at the HFO, and it's always great to sign on to programs like this because I kind of know everyone. So that's really nice. So at times, because Gut Monkey is an experiential education company and we like to do things, there are going to be times that you're going to potentially need some things. It's not a lot of things, but one thing that you will need is some way to write things down later. Now, that could be a piece of paper and something to write with, or it could just be on your phones in the note section. So if folks want to, you could take a moment right now to go get something. I'm seeing people kind of like, yep, they got, people came complete with journals and phones. I'm looking through, very good, very good. All right, well done, well prepared, Oregon, love it. We're gonna move on then. So, we're talking tonight a little bit about positivity, but why? And the why for that, why are we doing that, is that right now, people are experiencing a lot of challenges, and I would love for you to take a moment, jump into the chat feature. Feel free to write down some of the challenges that you've been experiencing that you're willing to share with everybody over the last couple months. I'll give you a couple examples while you jump in there. I run a company that's all about gathering people together. That's been challenging, figuring out a whole new business model of how to make that work. I'm a serious extrovert, and some of the people that I live with are real serious introverts, and there's no other people that I get to go see all the time. So that can be really tough. And I keep staying in the same space because a governor told me to do that, but I travel for a living. And so this is a serious change, and change is hard. So I have my chat up. Magic, can people write, or is just nobody writing? Raise your hand if you've written something. Nobody's writing.
One person wrote something. Oh, here.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Yeah. It's coming through. It's coming through. All right. Get in there, people. Come on. Let's get a couple of them. Yeah, that's a great one. Keeping my employees and my patients safe. Yeah, if you are working in a space where you are still out there and you're not working from home, that can be a huge challenge. And to think about people's safety day in and day out, staying connected. We're used to connecting in certain ways, and there's a whole new challenge of how to do that. Doritos talk to me in my sleep. Yeah, that's part of our life, people. Sometimes when we are like having difficult changes, dreams, foods, all those things start to come in on us. Not getting to see friends and coworkers. Oh my gosh, seriously, being stuck in Canada? How do you even deal? Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's tough to cross a border right now. People missing friends. And yeah, phone dates, Zoom dates, they're just not the same. Yeah, spend a lot of time with family.
So Pat, some of the ones that have come through to me personally, it's like managing all the Zoom meetings for a person who never does meetings. Some of them, I don't know why they're coming privately, like working from home with a house full of boys.
Oh gosh, how do you even do that? Yeah. And then one here, from Tater Tot, like I don't get to experience the normal like senior year. So I'm certainly glad that we're celebrating you today, but that's a lot of tough. So there are things that are happening out there that are just tough, that are challenging in our world. And so what I'd like to do today is give us a chance to practice some challenges, see how we're tackling those challenges, then practice maybe some new skills, or maybe like enhance some old skills, and then take a look at how we can help help us work through some challenges in our life. So we're going to do that by starting with a 1-minute challenge. I'm going to give you some options, and then you're going to get to pick that challenge to do. Here's the important part. you are going to get to choose that challenge. Again, I'm going to give you choices, but you need to do this in a way that's going to be an appropriate level of challenge for you, both physically, mentally, emotionally. We want this to push you a little bit, but we don't want you to get hurt. We don't want you to get injured. We don't want you to be in a space where afterwards you're like, having Doritos talk to you in your sleep if that wasn't already happening. So like, we really want to have you make a good choice. I'm not going to know the best way for you to do that. You are going to be your best advocate in this space. So if you would, especially if you're on a screen, give me a thumbs up if that's a deal. You will take care of yourself. Oh, I'm seeing thumbs up. I got to scroll. So many thumbs, lots of Smith thumbs, double thumbs. I love it. Good. We're going to move on. Okay. Ooh, we got emoji thumbs coming on. All right. So after we do our initial challenge, we'll talk about some pieces, then we'll attempt our challenge again. So your job around the challenge is this. Again, it's a challenge that you're going to do for 1 minute. And again, it should be something that's going to be safe for you to do, but it also needs to be challenging. So if I give you something and you're like, I can do that, that's easy. That's probably not a good challenge. That's just sitting there doing something easy. So we're going to give you these 3 options. And now I'm going to have to pull my screen open so I can do a little screen share here. So we'll do a little, here we go. And the first challenge is called a toe sit. So I'm going to share this picture so that people can see this. Now, a toe sit. Some of you know Halen from Gut Monkey. She's a yoga instructor. She was like, I got a challenge. She's like, this is easy for me, but it's going to be challenging for some people. And she showed it to me over Zoom. And I was like, oh, okay. Put your toes on the ground. You flex over. You put your knees on the ground. And then you sit your butt on your heels. I tried to do that. And the funny thing that happened is that my butt couldn't touch my heels. And I was like, there seems to be a lot of flesh in the way, like my calves and my hamstrings. And she's like, you know what? You can actually kind of even move those aside. I'm like, move my hamstrings? I don't know about that. I showed this to my wife and my daughter, who both went right into this. And they were also like, yeah, just move them aside. Maybe I've got some really fleshy hamstrings, but for some people, this is going to be easy. And if that's the case, probably not the challenge for you. But you can do it with your shoes on as well. We'll show you that option. But if this seems like this might be a challenge to hold this for a minute, this might be really appropriate for you. Thank you, Miles, for adding a special dance into that one. Okay, so we're going to move along. Toe sit, option number 1. And remember, shouldn't be causing pain, challenging, not injuring. Second option. This one is going to require getting a thing. So if you do this, you'll have a minute to do this. You're going to want some sort of towel or absorbent material. And then my Yeti bottle from a certain Yeti conference, I am going to grab an ice cube. This challenge is the ice cube squeeze, where you take one ice cube and you don't hold it in your hand for a minute. You squeeze it for a minute. Years ago at the HFO Camp Tapawingo, we did an amazing race theme where kids got to Antarctica, which was actually the pond. And when they got there, they stuck their hands on a bucket of ice water for a whole minute and then had to do something that took a lot of physical dexterity. And, they all still had hands. So we know that this is safe, but it's not comfortable. This one is also a challenge. And then the third one. This is an interesting one because I did not know at one point in my life that clowns were scary, but I was told at some point that clowns were scary. In fact, I learned this at the HFO summer camp, Camp Tapawingo, in one of the very first years. This is like 19 years ago, where somebody who was a client that we worked with at another company I used to work for, said, I do some amateur clowning and sounds like you work with kids at a camp. Maybe we could come to the camp and do some entertaining. And I said, that sounds generous and wonderful. And so 2 of them showed up and then they said, well, what should we do? And I said, we got the timing wrong. The staff just went into the woods to run Capture the Flag. Why don't you just get your clown stuff on and just kind of wander over? Well, they put their clown stuff on and it was a fairly hobo clown look. And then they just wandered into the woods, at which point, a couple minutes later, staff members came full, like Mach 2 speed out of the woods, just yelling, clowns! And that's when I learned that sometimes to some people, clowns are scary. So the third challenge option is the clown stare. I have collected multiple clown images. Ooh, I should have done it this way where I had multiple clown pictures on one page, but we'll just have one at a time for this round, where your job is going to be to stare at this clown. Now, I didn't pick intentionally scary, sharp-toothed, bloody clowns. I picked clowns that look like normal clowns, but maybe are just a little scary to some people. So you get to choose one of the three. So take a moment to yourself right now and figure out which challenge is going to be yours. If it's the ice cube squeeze, go get yourself an ice cube and absorbent material because they will melt a little bit in your hand. If you're going to do the clown one, think about, is this appropriate for me? Am I going to be sleeping tonight? Or am I going to lose the opportunity to think about Doritos and, just think about clowns in my sleep now? Who knows how that's going to go for you? If you need to do the toast it, this would be a great time to get into position. I'm going to take this moment to set my watch and get ready to time 1 minute. Ooh, I like it. I see cubes. I see towels. I see people preparing. People are getting into position. Fathers are telling their sons to get off the phone. I love this. This is so good. People are hydrating to prepare. A lot of people have taken their videos away, which means they're either going to do this intensely or they're not doing it at all. Nice. Madonna's got an ice cube. I love it. Okay, here we go. We are going to start our challenge in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and begin. Oh, I need my clowns. Darn it. Oh. I got a screen share. Here we go. Oh, screen share. There we go. Okay. And share. There we go. Whew, sorry. There you go. The clown people get an extra 5 seconds. Oh, nice job. Okay. If you started when I said go, you're about 30 seconds in. You're halfway there. If you're staring at clowns, you're not even close to halfway. All right, looking good. Ooh, the people, oh, nice. I love the ice cube faces. Lots of ice cube faces. Oh my gosh. This is great. Oh, 10 seconds left. 10 seconds left. Here we go. Everybody but the clowns. 3, 2, 1. You're done. Okay, if you're looking at clowns, you're still looking at clowns for a second. 5 more seconds with clowns. Yeah, we'll call it good. All right. That's probably enough to keep you awake at night. Okay, so well done. Well done, everybody. Way to take on your challenge for round 1. Nicely done. So I would love to hear, heck yeah, 10 seconds less of clowns. That really hurt my feet. I did ice cube and clown somehow. Oh, well done. Good job. Good job, everybody. Nice. Some people double doozied it. So this is what I'd like for you to do. Nice. Some people feet and clowns. Man, some people are really working hard out there to challenge themselves. I'd like you to take a second with the chat again, and please share with us this. What were either some of the things that you said out loud during that session? Now you were muted, and if it's not appropriate for all families to hear, don't type it into the chat. Or what were some of the things that you heard in your head? So when I did the ice cube thing last night, I definitely got to a point at 30 seconds where I was like, seriously? This is really hard. I don't like this. This is not my favorite thing. Like, I had a lot of things start to come in. Ooh, nice. Somebody here. Ow! Why am I doing this? If I was eating less, my feet would hurt less. Stupid Doritos. Nice. This hurts, and it really hurts. This is harder than it looked. Ouch, this is hard. Why don't clowns have mustaches? I know, so many big questions to ask. Ooh, cramp. The floor is harder than I thought. I'd rather be eating this ice. The clown's on the screen. The clown is on the screen, not in my room. Oh, we'll get back to that one. I wish I had a blanket to put under my knees. When can I stop? How much time is left? These are perfect. These are perfect. So a lot of our questions there, if we notice, there's one, oh gosh, where was it? why don't clowns have mustaches? Or I feel like there was another one that was kind of on the side. Yeah, the clowns are on the screen, not in my room. There's a couple that tended towards the positive, but most of these, I'd say if we had to choose one side or the other, most of them fell into the negative. And that is not surprising because I just took a challenge, threw it at you and said, go. And our tendency is when we get put into discomfort, distress or uncomfortable situations is to tend to like very quickly come into the negative. And those negative experiences can be very, very powerful. And we'll talk a little bit about something called the negativity bias in a little bit, but those things can really impact us. And so what I'd like you to do now is think for just a second about if you had had time to prepare, what are some coping strategies that you have in your life that you use successfully to help you when you are in a challenge? Now, again, I didn't give you time to prepare. I didn't set you up by saying, hey, let's think about how we can positively get through this. So not really surprising that we didn't necessarily start with that, but I want you to do that now. I want you to think about what are some strategies that you use in your world when you get into a challenging situation that help you to keep going. And once you've got that, yeah, let's write a couple of those down. What do we have here? I got to go in order or I'll lose them. Pick a spot and stare at it to get my mind off the pain of the ice cube. Nice, that's great. I saw humor, music, preparation. Try each of them and see which is the most challenging and then maybe pick the least challenging. Think of the satisfaction of completing it. Tell myself I got this. Think through all the possible outcomes before I even start. These are great coping strategies. So let the numbness overtake me. That's good. So what else? Focus on the competition. Yeah, I'm gonna instead of taking this and just feeling bad about it, I'm gonna make it into a competition. I'm gonna turn this thing into a game. Talk to others around me. I'm gonna distract myself so I don't even realize what I'm doing. Do it with a group of others so that I'm not alone and just stuck in this by myself, because I tend to do better when I'm with a group. Whoever wrote that, I hear you. Feet clown. Okay, we'll just let that one hang in the air for a sec. So with that said, we are going to get a chance to do this again. So before we do it, I want you to take just 30 seconds to prepare. A lot of you have already put up some of your strategies. So take this 30 seconds to, like, if you were music, quick, turn on your phone, get that music ready. If you were doing it alone before and you want somebody helping you, like, bring them on in. Figure out what are those strategies that are going to work for you, and let's get them in there. Let's practice using some of those coping techniques. So we'll give you 15 more seconds to gather yourself up, prepare. I'm going to scroll through my screen, see where we're at. Oh, people are moving around. Good. If you're going to do this again, you need another ice cube. This is a good time to get your ice cube, a new towel if you had a really big ice cube. Folks that are still not showing us what you're doing on your screen, that's fine, but I am curious. All right, very good. Time to get into position. Oh, somebody has brought a puppy friend in. I love that. I'm going to bring a puppy in to distract me. Very good. Okay. All right. I'm going to reset my watch. And this time, we're not going to miss out on any clowns. Ooh, let's get a, what do you get? For folks that saw the clowns, the clown that I used, thumbs up is that was scary enough. Thumbs down is we need a little more scary clown. What do y'all think? Oh, I'm seeing a thumbs down. We need a scarier clown. Oh, I'm seeing a lot more thumbs down than thumbs up. Okay. All right. Let's pick a mildly more scary clown. Ooh, okay. That will do it. All right. Okay. We're going to go to bringing everybody over here. Okay. We're going to screen share. All right. Everybody ready? 3, 2, 1. Go. All right, nicely done. We're squeezing ice cubes. We're doing our toe sits. We're staring at clowns. Oh my gosh, some of you are doing all 3. I think somebody's doing all 3. Seriously challenging. Didn't even think that would happen. That's amazing. Okay, we are at 30 seconds. 30 seconds, well done. Oh, nicely done. If you haven't started using it yet, remember you've got those coping strategies. Use them to your advantage. 15 more seconds. Clown is freaking me out. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and done. Nice job. Well played, everyone. Well played. All right. So after you wipe off your hands, get up off the floor, relieve yourself of the thought of clowns in your world, take a second, and if you would, share. And you know what? We'll use the thermometer. The thermometer is like, this is like 100% yes. This is the like, no, it didn't work so well. And this is the like somewhere on the spectrum. So you did it one time, no coping strategy preparation. Second time with coping strategy preparation. How did the coping strategies help us out? Was it a sorta? Was it an absolutely? You can find anywhere on the spectrum. Ooh, I'm seeing, okay, all right. I'm just going through. I'm seeing lots of, there we go. I'm seeing lots of thumbs, lots of high thumbs to mid, but not a lot of no's. A lot of you are sneaking back there with your cameras off. All right, got it. Okay, helpful. Any thoughts from folks? Would anyone like to write anything? Ooh, we have a few thoughts here. If anyone would like to share with us what strategy you used and if it worked, if it didn't, feel free. I'll read off a couple of these. We still got an ow, it still hurt, but knew what to expect. So it was nice to have had experience. Love that. We've got Kiss songs are going through my head. Awesome. Rely on Kiss. Good. Much easier with a blanket on the floor. Excellent. Prepared. Brought some things in to help. I challenged myself to hold the ice longer than a minute. Ooh, nice. Stepped it up. Kept going even. I leaned into the ice, squeezed harder, and it felt less cold. Nice. Stared at a picture of my family, so I got my mind off the ice cube. Brought my kid in to help, but she was not a help as it was super easy. Pillow helped, and the clown had one pretty green eye. Oh, nice. Way to like take this thing that might have felt really negative and like just zoom in on the one part that was positive and be like, you've got nice eyes. That's really good. I love it. Okay, well done. So at this point, I'd say we're crushing it. We're doing a great job. Folks have been like focused in and you've practiced now. You've done this a couple times. And I think we're ready. I think we're ready to compete. I think we're ready to like really bring this. So bear with me here for a minute. But what I need you to imagine, again, just imagine that we are going to go compete in this very strange competition where we do toe sits and ice cube squeezes and clown staring. And this is our team. You're looking at our other team members right here. So by a show of excitement like this, who is ready to go win this thing? Anybody? We got some good excitement out there. Show us your excitement. Oh, we got a bunch. Yes, good. I love it. I love it. I see a bunch of people that are feeling like they are going to go out there. We are going to win. We are going to get this. And we got to get pumped. And when we want to get pumped, there is something that we've got to hear. What do we need to hear? We need to hear, oh, chat it. Anybody chat it. What do we need to hear to get pumped? Come on. Ooh, affirmations. We can do it. Yeah, keep going. What else do we need? Yeah, we need cheers. What else helps us get pumped that we need to hear? Oh, music. Who said music? Somebody said music. Yeah, we need music. I agree. So imagine we've got this bus that's going to drive around. I'm going to drive the bus. I finally get to be a bus driver. And I'm going to drive around. We're going to pick us all up. And we get in the bus and we're driving. And we need to turn on the music. But guys, it's an old bus. And it's just like, it's a little run down. And so I go to turn on the music, but there's no auxiliary jack. And it's like the things from way before Bluetooth. And, you know, there's like a cookie stuffed in the tape deck. I mean, it's not working. So we've got to use this other thing. What is this? Help me out here. Somebody type it out. It's what is it? That other option, the knob. Yeah, the tuner on the what? The tuner for the, what is that thing called? I can't even remember. Anybody? Oh, it's the radio. That's right, the radio. Because there we go, the radio. So many radios just came in. Love it. Yeah, we got to use the radio. And radios have two channels. They've got the AM and the FM. And we've got these two channels, and which one are we going to listen to? AM or FM? Somebody type it out. Everybody type it out. AM or FM? Which is your choice? Let's see. Boom. Oh, FM, all the way. FM, AM. Okay, FM. So many FMs. Got it. And the reason that most people choose FM is because FM is where we've got music, and we've got music that pumps us up. When we get onto AM, AM tends to be a lot of talk radio, and a lot of what's on there is kind of negative. It's just a lot of like, oh, the world and the shutting down and everything, and it's all falling apart. It can be really boring. And so we've got the AM and the FM. People are the exact same way. Just like a radio, we have two channels. We've got our AM, we've got our FM. Our FM channel is our For Me channel, our For Me station. That is the station that allows us, it's the one that says stuff to us in our head that gets us motivated, that pumps us up, that keeps us going, that pushes us. This is the one that says, you got this, we can do this. Like, we've been here before, we know it's tough, but we're gonna keep going. That's our FM station. But then we've also got this other station, that's our AM station. Our AM station, that's our Against Me station. That's the station that says stuff like, you're never gonna get it. You're never gonna succeed. You're too old. You're too lazy. You're too fat. You're too slow. You're stupid. Like all of these like negative messaging that tends to shut us down, that sabotages us, that actually keeps us from doing the things that we want. And so we have these two stations, and they can be running in us all the time, but we tend to be listening to one at a time. And so, quick example, a lot of you know that I work in the adventure realm that includes ropes courses, and I've seen thousands and thousands of people climb 50, 60, 100 feet up into the trees to get onto these ropes course elements. And we see this very common practice where somebody's pumped. They get in their harness, they get clipped in, and they get to the base of the tree, and we're like, are you excited? They're like, I'm so pumped. And we're like, okay, go get it. And here, this is kind of like, this is a little bit like looks a little bit like somebody's brain right here. And so this is their brain, and their brain is on FM. They are ready to rock and roll. And we're like, well, get going. And they start climbing, and they're climbing, and they're climbing, and they're climbing, and they're feeling good, and they're feeling pumped. And they're climbing, and they're climbing, and they get pretty high, and then they stop, and they look down, and just like that, their brain switches from FM to AM. And now they're on a totally different station, and this station is saying, you can't do this. You're going to fall. You're going to die. And your AM just totally takes over, and you're stuck until somebody on the ground is like, hey, you got this. Don't forget you're on a rope, and it's okay to be scared, and we're with you. We're going to be okay. And you're like, oh, I am okay, and I do have a rope, and you can switch back just like that to this FM station. And we have a tendency to be able to go back and forth as we go. And it's important for us to take the time once in a while to actually identify what are our FM stations and what are our AM stations. What are these two different messages? We want to identify what are our FMs, because our FMs are the things that we need to remember so that when we see ourselves struggling, when we see our AMs creeping in, we can actually motivate ourselves by using the things that work for us. And these are very personal. I know that the same things that motivate me do not motivate other people. I'm going to totally share a story right now, and I didn't get permission, but I think it's going to be okay. But Christine and I have gone skiing before. It's Yeti on there. And we were going home once from skiing, and we listened to the music that the two of us were being motivated by. And I was listening to Rage Against the Machine, and she was listening to John Denver. Those are two different motivating forces. And if we had switched, it would not have worked. You need to have the ones that work for you. I used to go to a gym, and one of my coaches would always say, you can do 2 more of anything. For some reason, that's stuck. And that is a great FM that whenever I say it, I believe it, and I use it, and it motivates me. And sometimes it's not even a word. Sometimes it's just some sort of like sound that comes out of you that just gets you moving. And so those are your FMs. And it's important to know those so we can use them when we need them. Your AMs, though, these are the negative ones. And it seems like you wouldn't want to think about these, but it's important to actually identify what your AMs are, because they tend to not be true. Like when we say, I'm too old, Probably not. I'm never going to get this. There's a good chance you might. But because they're not true and because they can creep in, it's important that when we hear them, we can say, that's one of my AMs. I need to shuffle that out and replace it with something else. And that's why we look at both sides. So I'm going to give you just a minute right now. And that's why you had your little piece of paper to write with, or your phone, or your journal. For some of you that came incredibly prepared, take just a moment. It's okay if we do this in silence. We'll have just this one moment for you to make two columns, your FM column and your AM column, and just write down a couple of each, a couple of your FMs and a couple of your AMs. I'll keep the time, and I'll let you know when we're jumping back in. All right. We're at just about a minute. If anybody's willing to share a couple of their FMs, you can keep your AMs. I don't need to ask you those, but if anyone's willing to share a couple of your FMs, even one on the chat, feel free to just type it out. It's so interesting to see them because sometimes we see somebody else's and we're like, oh, that's mine too. It's okay. It doesn't mean that you always have to have the same. Like someone that just says, big dog, you're smart enough. Like that, it's not really going to be the thing for me. But when somebody comes up and just says, oh man, I just love you, I'm like, oh, it's good. Like, so find the one. So what do we have? Like, oh, you've got this, or one step at a time, or just let it go. If I can't change this, it's just fine. Got to get it done. I got this. The voice in my head is my own, but the words were put there by someone else. Ooh, I like that. This is going to be so cool when it's done. I get excited when someone says it's not possible. I love it. So we've got all these different ones. Great job. Way to put those out there. And again, this is just the beginning. Usually I give folks, a solid 10 minutes to like really build these lists. And when we give people 10 minutes, people take 10 minutes. Like there's a lot of these in our world, both in the AM and the FM side. And it's fascinating to see these. I was working, it happened to be the same gym I just mentioned, and we did this piece where we wrote out our AMs, we wrote out our FMs, and then we actually had people do a 1-minute workout, and a very intense, very hard 1-minute workout. And then we measured how well they did. And the first round, while everybody did this incredibly hard, intensive 1-minute workout, the rest of the group shouted their AMs at them. You stink. You're never going to succeed. You're never going to do this. You're too slow. And then we took the time, and then we did an entire hour of training. So at that point, people should have been pretty tired. And then we did that 1 minute, one more time. But this time, people cheered their FMs at that person. And it's probably not that surprising that people's performance went up. At a time when they should have been totally tapped out and exhausted, their performance went up measurably because they had what we'll talk about in a second that is often called the happiness advantage. They had this positivity that sets us into a space where we can be more successful. I've had the advantage in the work that I've done over time to teach a little bit about wilderness survival. And the experts agree that the best tool that you can have with you when you are out in the woods and you are lost is blank. Answer that question in the chat. What is the best tool you can have? Oh, boom, there it is. I love it. I love it. Oh, it's fire. I love that. Hope, compass, a friend. Oh, a friend. That's nice. Yeti's heard me say this one before, and she nailed it. It's the PMA. It's your positive mental attitude. If you go positive, there's a good chance you're gonna do better. There's a good chance you're gonna survive. If you go negative, if you have a negative mental attitude, you're done. Like, that's all there is to it. You are not going to be able you're not going to be able to get through that. And it's funny because when we start talking about this positive mental attitude, we're not just talking about the Bob Ross like positive mental attitude. And I bet you if we look around, we could even find a Bob Ross in our midst. Oh my goodness, we've got a little bit of Bob Ross in our midst. Anybody? Oh, I love it. Write into the chat. Whoever's the first one to write it in the chat gets extra bonus points for who is standing in as Bob Ross today. Oh my goodness. I saw somebody said Kevin. I don't know. Look around. Oh, Puddles. Nicely done, Puddles. Way to bring it from the HTC and OHSU tonight. Lovely, lovely. But really, when we're talking about this positive mental attitude, it does make a difference. And it makes a difference for these reasons. When we lean into using positive emotions, we still retain our imagination, our creativity, and our critical thinking skills. When we go negative, we lose access to those. And if you think about being in a wilderness survival situation, you want your creativity, your imagination, and your critical thinking skills. When you're at home during a pandemic and feeling stuck, you want your imagination, your creativity, and your critical thinking skills. When you're sitting there and you're trying to deal with a complication of having a bleeding disorder and haven't really had to deal with this issue around insurance or this issue around figuring out how this new treatment's working for you, or as somebody who's transitioning from pediatric to adult care and now in charge of like asking hard questions, all of these different things, it's really great to have that imagination, creativity, and critical thinking skills at your disposal. Great to get you out of a jam, but great to just help you out in life. So that PMA is clutch. And on top of that, we know from research that when we are at positive, we are statistically more effective and more successful than when we're at negative or neutral. This has been incredibly well researched, well documented. But when we stay positive, we build this thing that I mentioned before called the happiness advantage. It literally gives us a leg up. It allows us to be more successful. Whether this is like getting up on a wakeboard, and I am not kidding. I tried like 40, I almost said 400, but realistically 40 times once to get up on a wakeboard. And the time that I said, maybe if I literally smile, this will happen, it happened. And I don't know if that was it, but it was an amazing switch. Asking somebody out on a date, like engage the positive to be more successful. Sitting down to a test that you're feeling nervous about, engage the positive. It gives us this happiness advantage to allow us to be more successful. And so the challenge with all of this is actually staying positive, because you can have a whole bunch of PMA, a whole bunch of positive mental attitude, but raise your hand if you've ever experienced a time where you were feeling super positive and somebody came in with just a little bit of negativity and it sank it. This is the tricky part. Like, you can get your PMA derailed pretty quickly. So what we have to remember is to keep a PMA. Like, we can sit there and be like, PMA, it's great. It is work. It is hard. It takes constant work, everyday work. And part of that is because we are more influenced by the negative. It's called the negativity bias. As people, we tend to focus more on the negative than the positive. When we're often more motivated by the negative impacts of working towards a goal rather than the positive effects of achieving that goal. When we hear comments, we could have a great day full of great comments about us, but then you hear that one negative one, and what's the one that you think about when you're driving home or when you're laying in bed? It's that one negative one in the sea of so many positive ones. Or so easy to focus on that one negative trait or behavior of that other person when they might have so many. And man, when you've been in the house with that person for 2 months, so easy to focus on that negative trait. So what do? How do we combat the negativity and prop up our PMA? I am going to quickly get us there. And now I'm going to share screen so that we can look at this together. Where are we here? Is that it? There we go. And share. Okay, so how do we prop up that PMA? Again, these are not things that we do once or do for a week and then we've just got PMA for life. These are things that we need to do all the time. So number one, identify gratitudes. We need to be identifying things in our life that we are grateful for. Start with 1 a day, work to 3 a day. If you've got 10 that day, list them out. Say them to yourself, write them in a journal, say them to somebody else. Any of that works, but identify those gratitudes. Second, relive a positive experience. Take time to actually think about something that happened in the last 24 hours for you that was positive. You then get to relive that and get all of the positive benefits of that a second time. Exercise. Exercise helps our brain recognize that we have choice, agency, and that we can make a difference in our own realities. And it doesn't have to be a lot of exercise, just some movement. Do random acts of kindness for people. One of my favorite things to do after doing this happiness practice once was to go and take my phone, put it on myself, and for 30 to 60 seconds, just make a video to somebody in my life and say a lot of nice things about them and just send it and see what happens. The reaction from people that I sent those to was unbelievable. People were so touched. They were so happy. They said it was exactly what they needed. The best thing that happened to them that week. Little random acts of kindness go a long way. Meditate. And this doesn't have to be for 4 days. This doesn't have to be a meditation retreat. This can be 5 minutes of just letting your thoughts go to neutral, just finding a space to just breathe and letting your mind relax. And if you haven't seen these before, there's like 300 meditation apps there for your phone. Some of them are free that you can follow along with and just start to let yourself have a moment of calm. Stop focusing on the AMs. When those AMs come up and we realize, man, I am really focused on that against me thing, try to take that situation and learn from it instead. Try to notice, like, is there something I can learn from this? And then try to switch it to an FM. Take situations that are coming up and just reframe them in a positive light. You know, in this, it's pretty hard in the midst of like a pandemic to look at, you know, the positives that are coming out of it, but there's a lot less pollution in the air right now. Like it's pretty amazing, like how much happens when we drive less. And quite frankly, like in some spaces, I've even been connecting with more people, sometimes people I haven't talked to in a long time because it just seemed like the right time. And that's been great. So those silver linings can be a really great thing. And if you feel yourself slipping into the negative, do one of the things above to give that a try. So here's what we're going to do. This is our third and final challenge. If somebody wants to and nobody's done it yet, or if somebody hasn't done it yet, you know, you can switch it up. You can do the same challenge. You can do all 3 challenges if you'd like to toe sit while looking at clowns and holding on to ice. This is your choice, but I'm going to set my clock for 1 more minute. If you need a piece of ice, this is a good time to go get it. I'm going to find myself. Ooh, should I do my scariest clown? I feel like I've got one kind of scary clown. Okay. See if I can find it here. Come on, clown. Where are you? Ooh, what do you think? Scary? Is that a scary one? Oh, we'll do that scary clown. Okay. All right. Are we ready? I see people with ice feeling good. Yep. Get some high fives from people. Oh yeah, we're in this position. Good. Okay, here we go. On your mark, 1 minute, get set. Oh, before we go, here's the deal. This is what we're going to do a little bit differently this time. PMA. Work on the PMA. Use those strategies. Bring it in. Think of the positive. Bring yourself back. Think about things that you're grateful for, and let's see what we can do. On your mark, get set, and go. That's 30 seconds. Nice job. "45 seconds. Two, one. You are done. Third challenge. Well played, everybody. Good job. Excellent. Oh my goodness. Let's see what we got here. I'm going to get rid of our clowny faces here. Okay, so this is the last thing we're going to do as we're closing our time down, because we've now thought about what are our FMs, what are our AMs, what are the PMAs that I've got. Ooh, I'm seeing folks right in here. So much easier. Ooh, we got the double hand ice challenge. I did it with a smile on my face this time. It was much easier. I love it. That's so great. This is what I'd like folks to think about for just a second. Where is a place in your life? You can think about this and keep it private, or if you'd like to throw it into the chat, where's a place in your life where you could use to bring a little more FM and a little less AM? Where's a space where you really need, where it would help you, where it would benefit you to try to bring that happiness advantage, bring that positivity in? Take a moment, think about it. We'll take 20 seconds to think. And then if you got one you're willing to share, type it on in there. I think it would be really helpful for folks to be able to see that, like, there are spaces in our world for this. Oh yes, there we go. Dorito battles. Sometimes so hard to say no to the Doritos. Understood. Working with crisis schooling and my kids at home. Oh my gosh. Yes. So many places where it's so easy to just be like, this is crazy. Oh yeah, Irish dance competitions. It just says from the Smiths. Well, that's most of them anyway that do that. So yeah, when it's hard, or you're like having a hard time, you're getting pumped, you got to train a lot. You're walking into competition, but maybe you just don't feel like you as good as you did yesterday. Like, great time to just like focus on the positive, bring in those FMs. Watching Irish dance competitions. I love it. I don't even know what that means. What is that? What's going on over there? When you're watching your team, I love it. On my job, when I'm designing new virtual programs, yeah, it's so easy when we're in a new space and doing something for the first time to have that negativity bias come in and be like, oh, look at all the things that are hard about this, instead of, man, what a great opportunity this is, and what a new exciting space to get creative. Yeah, and then missing people who are gone, remembering them and all the things that they used to do and be in our world. Yeah, of course, that's so challenging when all of a sudden we have those big feelings of loneliness and sadness. And sometimes it's important to lean into those, but there's that certain point where it's like, oh, it's time for me to now move out of this emotion. And that's a great place to lean back into that FM, and, just creating an FM just for that scenario, something that, we can say to ourselves. It really allows us to both honor that we miss people and bring ourselves back to present, can be super helpful. So, my challenge to you is take a look at all of these places in your world where focusing on the positive, we're bringing that PMA, and using our FMs can really set us up for success. And give it a try. Some of you are sitting there with other people. This would be a great time to say, hey, this is the one place I'm going to try to do this week. And if you will, like, check in with that person in a couple days. Hey, have you been using your FM? How's that been going? Is it working? Is it not working? Just to kind of give us a reminder. I think you can set a timer on your phone, or a reminder, like set yourself a reminder for 2 days from now. Have you been practicing your FMs? How's your PMA? Give it a go, so that this thing can go, rather than just here and you remember like stretching your toes out really well, to be able to take this and take this into other places in our life. So, so great to see everybody. Most of you probably do, but we are putting out pretty regular videos and different things to support the community in this time. And so if you haven't already, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, subscribe on our YouTube channel. And if you want to get our now weekly newsletters, just go to gutmonkey.com and you can sign up there, and you'll be able to hear more of these concepts and learn more of these when I'm not on with you at Thursdays at 7. So Madonna, thank you so much. HFO, OHSU, thanks so much for having us.
Thank you so much. I hope everyone enjoyed our Thursday night at 7 again. So look for us next week. We'll be talking about gene therapy, but join us on Tuesday too if you want to do some bread baking and some chocolate chip cookie making. Thank you all so much for participating. I really appreciate your work tonight, Pat. I love the Ice Cube Challenge. I'm going to remember that. I love all of those challenges. Thank you, everyone, for being with us. Congratulations, Tater Tot. Yay! Good night, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for being here.